Good Friday morning, everybody. Yeah, this isn't Lenny Melnick, is it? This is Arnie, Fantasy World of Sports. And it's great to be with you on this Friday morning. So I'm looking in the chat room already. Cha-Cha, Jim Ross, Pokes Fanami, Leonard Donaldson. These are some people that I don't know if I've seen in the chat room before, or some of you anyway. And I hope we see more this morning. We got a lot to talk about. I appreciate Lenny giving me this opportunity to talk with you this morning. We're going to look at the games from last night, the games ahead. There were a few players yesterday that really went off. We're going to talk about the impact of that in your fantasy lineups today. Let's start off looking at the American League East. And we go through the American League standings. And atop the standings this morning, this Friday, the first Friday in June, it's the New York Yankees. Oh, yeah. You got to love it if you're a Yankee fan. And, of course, I am. And last night they were playing in Toronto. And here's how it went.
Here's Aaron Hicks with two runners in scoring position and 2 outs. And Hicks powers that deep right field, and it is gone.
Aaron Hicks.
A 3-run bomb off the bat of Aaron Hicks. And it's 4-0 Yankees. The E5 opened the door, and the Yankees barged through. This group has done such a great job. As Urshela turns on that, yep, it's gone. Laser and out.
Urshela.
Gio Urshela with his 4th dinger of the year, and it's 5-0 Yankees.
Gio, no doubt about it, just gets a pitch middle in.
LeMahieu drives that to right center. Another base hit with men in scoring position. Maven rounds third. He will score. It's a 6-0 Yankees lead as DJ LeMahieu comes through yet again.
So let's look at those three guys, okay? The Yankees win the game 6-2. Aaron Hicks, he's owned in about 38 to 40% of leagues. He's hitting .238 on the season. Not a lot to jump up and yell about, right? Good morning, Meckert. Good morning, the real double A. Yeah, I'm going to play about 5 clips. That's going to be it. I just give you a little bit of that just to mix it up a little, you know. Good morning to Cha-Cha. Good morning, Jim Ross. And here we go. 3 players on the Yankees fantasy, one, not totally drafted this year. Maybe not drafted at all. Aaron Hicks, probably drafted, then got hurt, .238. But here's what he's done in the last 3 games. He's 4 for 9. And I like to look at fantasy in terms of what have we done lately. And I mean, in the recent few games. Hicks is 4 for 9 in his last 3 games with 2 home runs, with 4 RBIs. Wow. If he's out there, he may be a player if you're in need of an outfielder. Aaron Hicks, you could do a lot worse than that, okay? And they're in Cleveland this weekend. We'll see how the Yankees fare in that, well, I guess pitcher's park, but the Yankees have been hitting the ball. Urshela, on the season, .323, homered last night. 4 home runs, 24 RBIs. Urshela is going to be, going forward, the starting third baseman, playing probably every day for the Yankees, all right? I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be interesting to see the lineup tonight when Didi comes back, right? Didi Gregorius activated today. He will be playing tonight in Cleveland for the Yankees. But from all accounts I'm reading, Urshela will stick at third. Okay, he's only owned, here you go, 10.5% of the leagues. Are you kidding me? .323 average, 4 home runs, 24 RBIs. If you're in need of a corner, if you're in need of a third baseman, Urshela, well, he could be your man. Now, DJ LeMahieu. The Yankees picked him up, sort of, I guess a backup, right? Well, for a backup, let's look at his season long. Let's look at his recent history, okay? Last night, if we look at that box score for the Yankees, DJ LeMahieu, he led off last night. He went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs, 2 doubles. Wow. And one of them it was a line drive that hit the wall, on line, in center field, okay? He's hitting .323 on the year, 7 home runs, 40 RBIs. And if you remember, when the year started, he wasn't even in the starting lineup. Injuries came, so did DJ LeMahieu. In his last few games, he's 9 for 24, 6 games, .375. Is he hot? You better believe it. And is DJ LeMahieu someone to pick up in fantasy if he's available? You know he is, okay? You know he is. So those are 3 Yankees to watch for. Hicks, Urshela, LeMahieu. The Yankees win 6-2 over Toronto. How about on the other side of town? The Mets win 7-3 last night. And as we look at the box score, what's significant there, I think, is Jeff McNeil's back. He went 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. Dominic Smith went 2 for 3. He's hitting .373 on the year. Played left field. He's got to play because the bat hits, right? Frazier, 1 for 4. Still hitting. His 5th home run. Hit one in the 8th inning off Mark Melancon last night. Rosario hit his 8th last night off Anderson. Dominic Smith, aforementioned, his 4th home run. The Metropolitans beat the Giants 7-3. Let's keep going through the American League East. Tampa Bay. Tampa wins in Detroit yesterday 6-1. The winning pitcher there was Beeks. He's 5-6. And let's look at how the Rays did. First of all, Diaz is back. He's at the top of the order against left-handers. He went 3 for 5 yesterday. He's been up and down, hasn't he? I mean, he really has. John McNeil didn't start the game, but he came in and went 2 for 2, and I just think that's significant because he's got a good stick. He's been on, been on the IL, so I think we just keep our eye on McNeil and see how the Mets play that going forward. And also, Torres has a sore shoulder, and so not sure how that's going to play. He may get a few days off in the next few. I haven't heard anything about going on the IL. He may be, but I haven't heard that. But of course, with Didi coming back, if he's out for a few games, then that makes the lineup a little easier to manage. Just move, you put a second baseman in. LeMahieu can play second, of course. Keep Urshela at third. Didi Gregorius plays shortstop, and there you go. But for the Rays, Avisail Garcia went 2 for 5 last night. Willie Adames, he's been hot of late, 2 for 5. Yeah, I like McNeil too, John. I want to see how the Mets manage McNeil now that he's back off the IL playing time-wise. And you got, as I mentioned, left fielder hitting .373. I mean, it's a good problem to have, right? So let's see how they do that. Kiermaier went 2 for 3 last night. d'Arnaud, how about d'Arnaud? Travis d'Arnaud hit 2 home runs last night or yesterday for the Rays as they beat the Tigers 6-1. Stanek was the opener. Beeks came in, pitched 4 1/3, 4 hits, shutout ball, struck out 2. So Tampa wins. They move to 37-23. They only trail the Yankees by a game and a half. And there's another big player in that division called the world champion Boston Red Sox, right? Don't forget the Red Sox. And yesterday, they were playing in Kansas City. They win 7-5. In that game, rookie Brewer, was the winning pitcher. It was a bullpen game. Okay, so Weber started. Brewer came in. Pitched 2 innings. The official score gave him the win, although he came in the second inning. Not only pitched the second and third, but they did give him the win. And in that game, Mookie Betts has been moved back to the leadoff spot. And I think that's significant. If you recall last year when the Red Sox win the World Series, Mookie Betts is the leadoff hitter, and Andrew Benintendi is batting in the 2-hole. So this year, Alex Cora decides to begin the season, I think I'll put Benintendi in that 1-hole and move Mookie to the 2, assumingly so that Mookie could have more RBI opportunities. Well, maybe so, but they don't win. And he shuffles the deck. He puts Mookie Betts back at the top of the order. Betts is now hitting again. He went 1 for 3 yesterday with his 10th home run off Danny Duffy. Also, J.D. Martinez doubled in the game. Devers 1 for 3. He's been a hitting machine over the last month, hasn't he? Devers raised his average to .316. The Red Sox win 7-5 as they defeat the Royals yesterday. So, again, to recap, the American League East, the Yankees lead the Rays by a game and a half. They lead Boston by 6.5 as we enter Friday's play. This weekend, Tampa and Boston square off at Fenway Park in Boston, and we'll keep our eye. Good morning, Zelmo. Good morning, DK Loosh. Big games this weekend between the Red Sox and the Rays, you know. And so we now go to the game yesterday in Cleveland. Trevor Bauer on the mound, okay? And there's a batter for Minnesota who's, well, glad that he was yesterday, huh?
Out here early against Bauer. That's driven to right field. Naquin going back, this to the wall. That ball is gone. Kepler on the second pitch of the game breaks an 0 for 21 streak with a solo home run.
That's the way to end that little streak, that hitless streak he was on. You know, we saw it last night. Any ball to right field just seems to be carrying here at Progressive Field. 6 home runs last night, 4 over the right field fence, and here looked like a changeup, something that he's added in his arsenal. Might be the last changeup he throws here this afternoon or this evening. Kepler waited back nicely and hitting his 13th home run of the year.
53 home runs in the first 3 innings for the Twins. Driven to right, down the line, and deep again. And gone, a 2-run home run for Max Kepler, and it is 3-0.
I stayed with that breaking ball. Third one was a charm for Max Kepler.
Is
And so Kepler went on to hit one more last night. He hit the curveball for a homer. He hit the changeup for a homer. He hit Trevor Bauer's fastball for a homer. 3 home runs for Max Kepler off of Trevor Bauer. Let's look at Max Kepler for fantasy purposes, okay? You know what's amazing, in the last week, he's been added 20% more in leagues. He's up to around 87% on. Just a week or so ago, he was only 67% on, okay? The thing about Kepler, and let's talk about him for a moment. The thing about, Jim Ross says Bauer sucks. You know, the thing about Bauer is he's got, 17 pitches he throws? And now it appears he's got so many pitches, it's sort of the old phraseology, a jack of all trades and master of none. Maybe Bauer needs to pick 3-4 pitches and just go with those, right? Perfect those, if you will. Good morning, Beach Bum. Good morning, Easy Kill. It's good to see you with me. Good morning, Meckard, this morning. Unholy Toledo. Yeah, it was. But the thing about Kepler, look at his season average. 268, 40 runs scored, 15 homers, 40 RBIs, and a stolen base. Okay, out of the leadoff spot, he's on a 40 home run pace. But isn't he streaky? Now, if you catch him on a good streak, there's probably no better player to own in fantasy. But, you know, here's what he did. Coming into last night, he was 0 for 21. Now, after last night, he's 4 for 25. Because last night he went 4 for 4, 3 runs scored, 3 home runs, 4 RBIs. What a great night for Mighty Max, right? Let's hear it from Max Kepler. And so if you're looking at, well, who's Kepler up against this weekend, the Twins are in Detroit. Maybe it's a good time to pick up Kepler. Maybe it's a good time to trade for Kepler. But what I have found with Kepler this year is that, you know, you'll have a few good games and then you'll have a few where you need to put him on the bench. So maybe he's a good guy to have on your bench. Put him in different situations. Now, I just ask you, Monday morning quarterbacking or Friday morning quarterbacking, you look down and say, yeah, I'll start Kepler against Trevor Bauer. Well, think about it. If you were in daily yesterday, would you have started Kepler against Trevor Bauer? I don't know. So Leonard says, I don't think Bauer can handle being the staff ace. I don't know. I don't understand what's going on with Bauer. I wonder if he's checked out. You know, he had the Sports Illustrated article. It's like he's become much more vocal. He needs to pitch. Cleveland, these games, I told you yesterday when I spoke to you at 10 o'clock. These games, Cleveland, Minnesota, these are must-win playoff games for Cleveland. I know it's early in the year, but as we look at the standings, Minnesota now 10.5 games back up in front of the Tribe. The White Sox are 12 games out, Detroit 17, Kansas City 22.5. Wow. And then we move on to the American League West, where Houston wins in Seattle last night 8-7.